You guys see me on my
Okay.
phone because I'm reading my minutes.
Okay, we're going to call this meeting of the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee to order at 5:01 PM. We will start with roll call. Do you want me to do it or do you want to do it, Evelyn?
I can do it.
Okay.
Hopefully if I butcher your name, I apologize. Tammy Beatty,
Here.
Aaron Smith,
Here.
Travis Garrison. Not present. Valerie Calhoun. Not present. Michael Anderly,
Here.
Andrea Wallace. Not present. Denise Rashoto.
Here.
And then Heidi Prokop.
Heidi's usually here.
I think she's, it looks
she's on
like
Zoom.
virtual.
Yeah,
We see you.
Do we have a quorum?
we
Yes.
have
Yes.
4 out of 7, so right.
That's it. That's it.
Yep. All right. Yes. Okay. Did everybody have an opportunity to look at the minutes from the last meeting? It was included as an attachment in our
Yes.
email from Elena. And were there anything to discuss about the minutes?
No, not about the minutes.
And
not
if
online.
not, does somebody want to put a motion on the floor to approve the minutes?
I motion we approve the minutes.
Second. All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve the minutes from our July 3rd meeting, and we have a second. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Michael? We need your vote. You're muted in case.
I'm sorry. Aye.
Thank you. Okay, motion passes. All right. We are moving on to committee business. The first thing to discuss is the survey.
Which looks awesome.
Right. I think, did you work on this, Evelyn, or did Elena work on it?
I think that was all Elena.
I want to pull it
did a
up
good job.
again.
It looks nice.
The only thing I had question on is in the first paragraph where it's sort of saying what the purpose of this is, it just says the DEI committee is committed to increasing awareness. And do people know what the DEI committee is, or should we?
Well, is the thing underneath it going to be with it, right? The that
Yes.
colorful insert.
Oh, what's the color? Oh, well, I don't know if we're putting the one pager in there. But I just think that's work for people to do to try to connect those dots of what's DEI and then, I don't know.
Well, it shouldn't take much to stretch it
No,
out.
just to
Right.
spell it out and then,
I trust you guys. I still can't open it.
do you want to look at it real quick?
Sure.
Okay. And you can see it. Do we have any other comments? Tammy's going to look it over right now, but Mike, did you get a chance to look at it?
Yeah, I'm looking at it as we speak. In fact, that's what I was digging around with. And yeah, I mean, I think as long as we just spell out our name, that will remedy that. But yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, I'm really excited to get feedback, like start collecting that feedback on it.
Mhm.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
I think it's going to be eye-opening.
Okay, so other than that one correction, I think we're ready to move forward with that.
What, I don't remember what the answer was as far as funding. Is it going to cost more to put that in with the bill? Will we have to come up with the funding for that, or will it not cost what postage is what I'm thinking? It makes it heavier.
I think it's one page.
One page,
I don't
yeah.
think it should make a difference with the weight.
Okay.
And don't forget to talk into your microphones,
Sorry.
everybody.
This will also be available on the city's website as well. Is that correct? And do we have the capability of sending it out as a survey in format on social media?
So from our minutes from the last meeting, the things that we discussed were the water bill insert, adding the
Mhm.
survey to the website and Facebook. And then we
Okay.
needed to include drop-off locations or ways to return the survey.
Mhm.
So, because if it goes out in the water bill, oh, I guess there is a self-addressed stamped envelope for people to return their water bill. Is that what we discussed? But some people pay online.
Yeah, yeah, cause I still get a paper water bill, but I just look at it to see how my water consumption is going. I just call to make my payment. I don't mail a check in the mail.
But is that a self-addressed, is there a return envelope?
Honestly, I don't remember because this is what happens. I open it up, I pull the bill part out, I put the rest in recycling.
So that's what we need to
I pay
know
my
is
bill.
the logistics of the water bill and how, if people get a hard copy there, what are their options for returning it?
Or can we include a link
Mhm.
or to fill it out online? You know what I mean? Or is that sort of
Right.
a word?
Oh, because, okay, so, and then
It's
also
defeating the
on the,
purpose a little bit.
yeah, on the survey, there's right under the explanatory paragraph there, it says insert directions on returning and a QR code for the online survey. So I think there's going to be two things. So people can decide to just fill it out online, like here's the QR code, go here online and submit it.
Mhm.
Or the other one, which is the one that we don't have the information on. If there is a self-addressed stamped envelope, great, people can return it in that. But if there's not, I'm guessing nobody's going to put their own stamp on it to return it. So we probably would need drop-off
We could have
locations.
drop-off.
They could just drop it off at the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Elena was talking about, is that there are a lot of people that just come down and drop off their checks. So we could, again, just make sort of a footnote that that's an available option.
Yeah.
But no matter what, even if they don't turn it in, this is a really good way of just, it's a good information.
Yeah. It's educational.
Information.
Yeah. I'm excited about it.
Mhm.
Okay. So as soon as the logistics are all cleared up and we have a QR code, I don't know who's doing that.
I
I
think she
don't-
is, I think.
Okay.
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, if Elena was the one that created that, I would assume she'd insert that in
Yeah.
for you.
Pretty sure.
Okay.
it is.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so that means that the homework for all of us, once this is available, is that we're all also doing what we can to share and encourage
Yes.
our neighbors and, those who aren't getting it in the water bill to seek it out, or, obviously we'll have a link that we can share, but doing our best to try to get as much response as possible.
Is there a way that we could put just a one sentence on the water bill for people like me who toss the rest in the recycling immediately that says, please look for our insert on committee or for our,
I don't know if there's any way to put a note on the water bill. It's almost like we need a stamp on the envelope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and we, so the city limits will get these. So what do we do about the rest of the
That's where
people?
the social media and the posting it with a QR code at the library and whatever places we can. I don't know what other options we have.
We are, I will tell you, all of my neighbors, other than maybe two, they are not probably on social media.
Mhm. Well, I think we can have them at the library, and
that's all we can do is put it out for public.
I think what the responses we get will tell us too on who are
Yeah.
we reaching, because we'll see
Right.
proportionately where the responses are coming from, because we have zip code, but in city limits or outside of city limits. So we'll be able to look at that data and see what it tells us.
Mhm.
I mean, I think maybe we could have some hard copies if you wanted to make sure your neighbors, I mean, I don't think we can cover everyone, but if we know that there are certain populations that we could hand deliver or stick some in mailboxes, or I think
Yeah.
posting at the post office would be good in the PO box.
We could ask businesses if it's okay to post a thing
Yeah.
saying, look in your water bill. Would they get that in the water bill? So they're not getting that in the water.
We don't
bill.
get a water bill.
That's right,
We're on
because they're on
wells.
city water. Okay.
Yeah, so there's, I mean, I don't know how many people are outside of city limits, but there's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So, yeah, that's something for us to consider when we get all the
Is there
results
gonna
back.
be a time limit as to when we want it turned in by such and such a time? Or what is the time limit? I know there's gonna be one. but-
I'm sure there's best practice for length of time to, leave surveys and stuff open.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
That might be something to include in the instruction part.
yeah. Yeah, the please return by
Was it
or,
re-
or
yeah.
respond online by.
Was it on the survey?
No,
No, nothing like that.
nope.
I think the post office and library would be really good. Those are, a lot of people go there.
If we could ask the library, which, I mean, the nicest place of any city is the library. If we could leave copies with them,
Mhm.
people could fill it out there, put it in a shoebox there or whatever, collection box, and I'd be happy to go pick it
Yeah.
up and bring it into the city, whatever.
Yep. Okay, any other comments on the survey?
I was thinking, what about a poster? Maybe even if it's 11 by 17 that we can put at businesses with the QR code, just to be like more out there for people to see.
That's a great idea. I mean,
As
that's the
opposed-
easiest thing too, if you put it in a restaurant or something, or like your city wants to hear from you, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then somebody can just shoot the QR code and sit down while they're waiting on their food and just
Yeah.
fill it out. It's not a long survey. I think that's a
So-
great idea, Heidi.
Yeah, so I mean, when I was in the Arts Commission, the copies, even 11 by 17 color, were part of the administrative budget and not out of the commission budget, so that it might not even affect you guys as far as budget goes.
that would be wonderful.
Yeah, I can't imagine that costs very much either to,
Yep, we could put it up at the fire station. Of course, here.
so somebody would need to design a poster though, because I don't think we'll want to just have the survey on the
Oh.
poster. We would need to design one.
I was just thinking we could put this up with a QR code on it,
Just the top. Oh,
just this poster, because it's really nice,
except for that's specific to DEI as
True.
opposed to just,
all of the rest of them.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it could be a really simple poster that just has like the names of each of the different committees, like with colorful backgrounds for each one, like sort of floating. Like the city wants to know what you know about.
So the
These
whole
things.
survey or just an intro, right? just
Yeah, something much simpler.
Yeah, just be eye catching.
Talking about.
If that's not within her wheelhouse, Maddie that serves on the Arts Commission has been making all of our flyers and advertisements, so she makes pretty quick work of it, and it's something that I could potentially solicit on DEI's behalf.
Yeah, I think
Thank
this is
you.
a good cross collaboration project because we are increasing awareness of all of the committees and commissions.
Mhm.
So I think it makes sense to partner on this.
That could be a benefit too.
Yeah. And I still don't understand the difference between committees and commissions and why some are called one thing and the other. And I think that's just one more thing for people to sort of like raise an eyebrow at. So it would be good at some point too.
Thought a commission was a commission, like, an entity.
I don't know if we've gotten a clear response as to why. I think it's sort of the language that they were brought into existence and put into code
Yeah.
with. So
Mhm.
simplifying that would be a good project for us, I think. Okay, Mike, when's your next Arts Commission meeting?
They're first Wednesdays, but we are all sort of recuperating a little bit from
Yeah.
the.
Parts of the
um,
creek.
Right, so there's not a whole lot on the task list, so I can reach out. In fact, I'm texting her right now. I'm always doing things in real time. Yeah, I can hit her up right away.
Cool.
If she doesn't have the capacity, I can also help.
Yay, thanks.
Heidi can do everything.
Yeah. Heidi will do it all. Mhm. Okay. All right, okay, so moving on to the one pager. Did you all have an opportunity to look at it? And again, just a reminder that it's a work in progress. I don't know. I really think that there were graphics in the scope section, and I don't know what happened to them.
Yeah, they look like.
So
they were created.
don't worry about the format. Let's just worry about content for now. And I know the goals, I needed help coming up with what the rest of our goals were because I didn't remember when I was throwing this together. Did you want to look at it too? Here? Here. Okay. Uh-huh.
Your pictures are still not showing.
I know. I don't know what's wrong with it.
Mine neither, so it's a glitch.
Yeah. Well, and I did the free Canva professional account, and then I decided I don't want to pay for it because this was the only reason I was using it. So some of that, unless somebody has a Canva account, like with, I don't know if the city has one of those Canva Pro accounts where you can access all the things. Otherwise, we might have to make adjustments anyway, and it should fit on one page, which it did originally. So I don't know. Things got goofy.
Maddie has confirmed that she is willing to help us.
Thanks.
So
Thanks, Maddie.
Yeah.
I'm
thank you.
gonna try and send her some of the corresponding information here.
I really like the very last one. If you'd like to receive information about any of the above committees, commissions, please contact information below.
I know, in the
That's good.
survey. Yeah.
Yeah, wow, that's good.
Okay. So for the one pager in general, is these sort of categories? Are those helpful, good? Do we want different categories or not some of these?
Is there a way that we can provide an example of one thing that we've done?
That's good.
Well, that's what these projects are. So we've drafted an equity lens tool. We've improved access to committee applications. We've participated in the housing needs analysis and the transportation system plan. I don't know if there's other things we want to highlight. Those were just 4 that I pulled out.
Somebody texted you, by the way. I think it's good for starting. Yeah. It's a lot of good things.
It's just beautiful, right? I just got it all right on the first try. Come on, I want some feedback.
Well, yeah, I'm trying, I couldn't do any different. I mean, it looks good. It covers the spectrum.
Yeah, all the basics are there.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to clutter it up too much.
Right. And it does need to fit on one page, so
It needs to fit, yeah.
it'll be adjusted.
I'm wondering, could we put a link on it to, do we have a link that goes to us?
We could, I'm sure, I think you can just create QR codes for things, so we could have it go to our page. I don't know if our page is, I mean, it would just get more into the nitty gritty of when our meetings are and
But
connecting.
that's why, so that, because we don't want to put all that busy it up. But what if someone said, hey, more information about that?
Where are they?
But we're on-
gonna
that's on the
see this
survey, though.
page? Where's this page going?
I think this one pager, just for context, is a part of our communication strategy. So when we're going out and meeting with groups, this is something that we can provide just to, to start building people's understanding of who we
Mhm.
are and what we do.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So we'd want a QR code to our webpage, and then we may need to do some work on our webpage too at some point.
Do we have anybody on the committee that can do that? Because I can't do that. I don't know anything about web pages.
Oh, no, the city has web people, I believe. So it would just be a matter of us going through and inventorying, or, I mean, I don't think we can do anything really unique, but it might be about clarifying and simplifying what's on there. So it's easy for people to look and find what they're looking for.
Mhm.
Does anybody have the goals for this year handy? I don't know if it's these, like engaging with community groups and churches, engaging with students, focus groups, listening sessions, projects with other committees. I mean, these are really broad, so I don't know if we want to put more specific.
I'm gonna look at it. Seems like we had that a few months ago.
I just have a handwritten goals, so I don't know if they got updated.
She updated it.
So, I mean, it could just be a goal one is engaging with community groups. Engaging with Estacada.
Retirement homes.
I think that's part of the community groups. The student,
Right, reaching out to the students in school.
and these are just kind of, I don't know if they're not very specific, so I don't know if they're helpful. What does engaging with community groups look like? What does that mean if somebody was trying to learn what we do? It's sort of to get increased representation or provide increased access to, like, kind of like what's on the top of the survey about.
Right.
I am starting to understand too that we need to advocate for our own role in the community a little bit. I mean, I think that DEI in sort of general is being cast in a certain lens right now. So, part of this is explaining ourselves and our, not to say our objectives, but, sort of our goals like we're going over. And just familiarizing the community with the endeavor of what we're trying to help with. We brought that up at the city council meeting recently too, that we were hoping to be a little bit more closely involved with discussions such as the one regarding housing for people and what kind of solutions. I don't think there's actually any solutions on the table at this point. It's more just a discussion of how much people don't like to address these kind of issues. But yeah, like we need to get in front of people and say this is what is trying to be accomplished.
I actually asked Elena talked to her about the council meeting a little bit and asked her what it was that the mayor was saying he needed help because there was a lot of stuff coming down from Salem that they were going to have to deal with. And so she said, so we were going to do it this meeting, but it's going to be in September. We're going to talk about, there's a website she sent me that has like all the bills that have passed. And so we can start looking at that, things coming down the pike. Yeah.
It's a good
Is
idea.
that something that you can ask Elena to include in a quorum email here so that we can all get our hands on that? Because my read too is that for one, we should do our homework and be prepared so that we're not trying to stumble through understanding it and having a conversation about it within the time frame of the city council meeting, because that's relatively limited. I think we should sort of know what we're after, so to speak, before we jump in on that. But I think that is, we also, like I said, we're going to need to advocate for our own contribution here, because otherwise I think it's just going to kind of be overlooked.
Yeah, she's, so the bills were not, I think the bills were not on the website yet. And so she was waiting for all the documentation to get there so that we could then, so yes, she'll be sending it to everybody once it's all on the website or at the site that she sent me. So. I'm not finding.
One other thing that we did, and I don't know if this would be a better project completed to include than one of the 4 that are on there, but we advocated for and secured funding for translation services for the city. So that became a budget line item because of our advocacy. I don't know. I don't know what like our audience, what we want our audience to hear.
Problem is the ones that need our outreach most are the ones that are least likely to see us.
No, you have to
I'm
speak
shy.
up.
Okay.
It's good practice.
The people that we're trying to reach are the ones that are least likely to, how do I say it? The ones who need us most are the ones that are less likely to know that we're here. So I don't know if we could wait until more people hear about us and ask questions before we do that, or I mean, I think that this is as much promotion as, I mean, I think it's really good promotion, this survey.
That's a good start for us.
And I wonder if we have to, I mean, how else, we can't go door to door. How well attended are the regular city council meetings? Does a broad group of
It depends on what the topics are, I think. I think when there's run of the mill topics, and Heidi, you can probably speak to this too, that there's probably a small handful of people that kind of just attend regularly, but then you can have standing room only meetings if there are hot topics.
Or is that?
Yes,
I mean,
that's exactly how it goes.
Mhm.
There's usually some people that come regularly.
So could we, I don't know what the real, I don't know what the official way to say it is, but could we request some time at a city council meeting to say, we're the DEIC, this is what we do. If you have any questions, call this person or contact us on, just make a little, that 10-minute presentation of.
Yep, it's got to be 3 minutes, in fact. And I mean, that's what, like, it was very commonly done. In fact, I had seen Brandy do that nearly every meeting with like, there's a cupcake sale at the church this weekend. So if anybody wants to come out and attend, like we could regularly send somebody down just to do the public comments section, sign up, get up, say, this is what DEI is doing, this is what we'd like to see, this is what we're after, this is how you can reach us, this is what we have to offer. I think that's a good idea. It's just continue to represent our endeavor.
Yeah, because then maybe people who won't get the form because they're outside city limits, but they're still tuned in.
Mhm.
That's just
And that's why I think partly the one pager is helpful for us also, so that it makes it easier for us to clearly communicate to people what our priorities are, what our
it gives you a
goals
foundation,
are. Yeah.
Foundation to build on, yeah.
And
We just need to-
we might very evidently find out that 98% of the responses were online. And so that, there are certain gaps in effective
Mhm,
outreach.
the survey will
You're
give us-
fading. you're
Come
fading.
back, Michael, come back.
Oh, sorry, I got a dog outside who's trying to get in. Just, what was my point? Yeah, this initial survey will tell us where, like you're saying, the gaps are, things that need to be focused on, where maybe we go. Maybe we're not hearing from the church community. So what we want to do is we want to bring paper surveys over to the church community and be like, when you have Bible studies, please pass these out, or whatever.
Yeah.
Just to try and we're gonna have to evaluate the blanket effort as well. But I think that, we gotta crawl before we.
Okay, so are you all wanting to pause the one pager, or do we want it for ourselves?
No, I think that it's gonna be something that develops. You know what I mean? It's not, we're not gonna send it out and 3 weeks later know exactly what where we're at. It's gonna be something that
Right.
has to take a little analysis.
I think putting it on pause until we get data from the survey would be a good idea.
Yeah, that might be a good idea.
Yeah, I think the finished product for distributing, I think we should pause, but I do think it's important that we are all able to speak to what our goals are for the year. And I think we're all having a hard time communicating that. And so I think if we can do this for ourselves, then we all have a clearer idea of what we're working on, because we should know, we should be able to say, this is what we've said we're going to work on this year. So that's the only thing I want to encourage us to do, is get clarity on that, and even just create this just for now for ourselves, so that we can speak clearer.
Okay. So specific, you mean down to specific, like we want to help people in this apartment complex?
Well, I think we have goals. I think these are them. I just don't know if these are the finalized ones. I don't have a pretty printout of our finalized goals. So it's just my handwritten ones.
Can we have Elena make up a clear goal list and then have that at our next meeting, that we could maybe, since you're the only one that has it in front of you.
Yeah.
That would be helpful.
Well, I think also too, what Aaron's pointing towards is that we have a lot of conceptual goals, but we don't have as many action points. And that it seems like that's kind of what's missing from our approaches, that we have a bit more action point. But I think that really comes down to getting out and getting in front of people, having conversations. I think the survey is definitely the first layer of that kind of an endeavor. But we might need to develop some more action points so that it's a little bit more qualified, like what we're doing, or it feels that way.
Were you letting the dog in again?
No, I'm unloading the dishwasher.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm never not multitasking.
Okay, so you're saying though, having actionable goals would be helpful.
Right. I mean, I think that's kind of what we're all feeling right now, is a little bit of stagnancy of like,
Yeah.
how do
I
we
agree.
reach the community? How do we
I
raise
agree.
awareness? How do we make an impact So that it's not just a thinking. And, you know, that's kind of, it's a hard question to answer.
I agree, because I think with a lot of people, just to say, you know, for instance, instead of, because like advise city on development of strategic plan to advance DEI among government and communities, a lot of people that gloss right over that, like, for example. And that would go, oh, that's what they mean, you know, it's. I'm
Yeah,
saying-
because that's not a goal. That's just what sort of our charge is.
I'm just
Mhm.
saying, for example. Give an example of something that we've done. Say, yeah, we're not just here talking, we actually have done this and.
Yeah, we could do that instead of, we could sort of put the projects completed in the scope together and maybe put things like, so providing input on current programs and systems, that would, then we could put like, you know, the transportation system plan, housing needs analysis, recommending short and long-term strategies to correct institutional equities. And that could be like, improving the application process for participation on city committees.
Yeah, and we're doing this for you because you can't be here to do this, so we're here to do it for you. Reach out to us if you have an opinion.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, and we should get credit for things that we're already doing. So like one of our goals is to create the survey, which is under a larger umbrella of gathering information.
We can serve better.
So putting the survey on there as one of our goals for the year would be good because it'll be one that's almost done
Mhm.
already. Like to check those things off.
I do too.
Okay. Evelyn, were you able to capture that we would like Elena to, like, if we could just have a document that shows our goals for the year,
Yes, yeah.
that would be helpful.
Mhm.
And I'm guessing it exists. I just don't know
Couple more people here.
where it is. Everything comes electronically and I am like not a Google Drive user. And so that's not helpful for me. I like paper.
I like paper too. The only problem is my filing system is the back of my car.
You guys are my people because I'm being taught, Google Drive right now by one of my other commissioners, and it is.
Can't hear you. Speak up. Sorry.
I said I'm being taught Google Drive by another commissioner, because that's the format they're using, and it is not my natural explanation.
No.
I'll get my kid to teach me. She uses it all the time.
No. Okay, so we're gonna kind of, I mean, we'll kind of try to polish this up for internal use.
You mean the survey?
No, the one pager. We're done talking about the survey for now.
Okay.
So the one pager we'll finish it for our own internal purposes, but then we may use it as a jumping off point once we start getting information back from the surveys to tailor it a little bit more to what the actual knowledge gaps are of the community.
Mhm.
Does that sound right?
Yep.
Very nicely put.
Okay. Next thing on the agenda is the September meeting date. So our meeting is scheduled for Labor Day. So we have a couple alternative days presented that are options for us. Tuesday, September 5th. Wednesday, September 13th. Or Monday, September 18th. The 13th is definitely out for me.
I can do any, but it makes more sense, it would seem, for the 5th, because then it's a whole month for the next.
Right.
meeting.
Yeah, that works better for me too. Earlier in the week, if possible.
Tuesday, the 5th.
If you're talking, we can't hear you.
I am not talking. Tuesday the 5th is work great for me.
I'm sorry, I was being impatient.
No.
Apologize.
Tammy, what
Mhm.
about you?
Tuesday, the 5th I think works for me. I'm not positive, but I think
Should
it
we ask
does.
Elena before we decide is if she's gonna be.
I
she
mean,
has to
I
drive
think
to
she
Salem, doesn't
she put this agenda together with
Yeah.
the options on it.
Oh, okay.
So
Mhm.
I'm guessing that, you know, these are all times when this room is available, when staff is available, it's not conflicting with another meeting. So I think it's just up to us. So
She's also the only one that gets paid to attend, so.
yeah, well, and Evelyn now, right? Yeah, so I think we can put that out, and also we'd like to get feedback from the rest of the committee that's not here. I don't know if we need to do a doodle poll or just an email that says, please respond with your order of preference or any dates that you cannot participate in. But I think we're leaning towards the 5th, because otherwise our next meeting is like 2 weeks
2 weeks.
later if we wait.
Yep.
So do we need to vote?
I mean, we can't vote. We have a quorum.
Wouldn't we just let them know this? is
Yeah,
the
I don't
next
even think we
meeting?
need to vote on that. I think we would just make the recommendation that the 5th
Yep.
is that's our
Okay.
preference.
5.
At 5.
I think so, yeah.
Yep.
I'll just have to leave work early. That's one of my not work from home days. But shoot, make me leave work early. I know.
Just do what I do and sit in the car in the parking lot and on Zoom and.
I don't want to do that. I'd rather come home.
Where do you?
At Mountain Community College, yeah.
Oh, that's right. You told me that.
Okay, do we have any, are there any public citizens attending our meeting? No, so
Does
there
not
are
look like
no
it.
public comments. All right, committee comments. All right, we'll start with the Zoomies. Michael, then you can get
Yes.
back to your housekeeping.
Okay, not for, I don't want to be melodramatic per se, but I do, I have been personally challenged to be more accountable to the intent of my participation, and I noticed that it had been also talked about at a recent city council meeting by a former city staffer. And it definitely made me be like, oh yeah. And also, I guess, without totally naming names, there have been people who have aligned themselves with our committee who had no real intention of participating. Those things essentially have remedied themselves. But I do feel like if we have members of the committee who are just sort of got their wagon hitched to us and they're not really doing anything, that maybe we could ask in a loving and supportive community way to sort of, either try a little harder or maybe move on. Like I said, I'm not trying to be too dramatic or anything, but it definitely seems like, especially with the function of this committee and sort of how people may think about it, that we need to make sure that we're including people on the commission who are actively willing to participate with goals that are aligned with the committee's goals. So that's my little 10 cents there.
Thanks. Heidi, do you want to add anything for the good of the
I-
order?
I don't have anything, but I thank all of you for doing this.
Heidi, are there any topics related to this committee? I mean, just in general that are coming up on the next city council meeting?
I don't believe so.
Okay, but obviously you get the agenda probably before us in the
Yes.
packet, so we'll count on you to clue us in if there are topics that could use our input.
Sounds good.
Thank you. All right, now on from the Zoomies to the Roomies. Tammy, do you have any comments?
No, I am very glad that Michael spoke up because I think I feel very much the same way. And I don't know. I mean, I just think we as a group need to be bonded. I know that kind of sounds funny, but we need to be bonded, right? If we're going to work together and make a difference. So,
Thank you.
Be a T.
Denise, any comments that you would like to make?
I can't remember it because I can't remember what it was, but there is one of the city councils just recently I saw on Facebook where they basically said the same thing Mike said. Someone was stepping down and they said, we need someone who can step up and fulfill this person's place. And the way they said it was very nicely phrased. So I'll have to find it again, but it was very nicely phrased. It's, you know, we need someone to do the work, not just be part of the committee. Yeah.
Not just warm a seat.
Yeah.
Also to just give you guys a heads up, I mean, you'll find this out soon enough. I've gotten grounded for my first time by city council. There was some zoning
I
information
can't,
about-
I'm sorry, Mike. I'm sorry, Mike, to interrupt you, but we can't hear you.
Just to bring this to your awareness before it becomes public awareness, someone sent an email to the city council directly complaining about a gift that I had put up on social media. So I want you guys to hear that first, because I know that we are all aligned and it was something that I have already talked about specifically with the city employees, but it is included in the upcoming city council packet. So better I take responsibility for that and be honest about that rather than you guys hear about it somewhere else, not from me. So
Have you become somewhat of the center of someone's attention?
I'm just typically controversial is pretty much what it comes down to.
Okay, and is there anything you want to say to us about, I mean, I have no idea
You
what,
want to put on the
I-
record?
No, I talked to Melanie about it and she actually sent me an email. I like I said, I posted a GIF which was Dwight from The Office. And it was in response to it was on the city page of a picture of a former city councilman and the mayor. So it was very obscure. It wasn't like I was saying anything or directing anything, but it really got someone upset. So there may be you might just hear about it at some point in the future. Like I said,
Okay.
I'd rather you hear it from my mouth than from somewhere else.
Thank you.
thank you for being upfront with us and telling us about it. And, good reminder that our social media presences are everywhere and
Right.
okay. Denise, were you done making comments?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Then I will close out the comments. I will say thank you, Evelyn, for being here at your first Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee meeting. We're happy to have you. Look forward to working with you more. Thank you all for being here and participating and coming prepared to discuss today. I think we're making some good headway in some of these projects, and I'm really excited to get this survey completed so we can get that sent out and start getting real feedback. That's all I have. And I think that's it. So at 5:49, this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you so much.